Here we go. Let me lift you up. We'll go right to the top. Let the sun come up. Together we can fly. All our hearts collide. Stay here by my side. I say we jump, we fly, we reach out to the sky. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And we go on and on and on and on. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And we go on and on and on and on. We're gonna fly high, be alive. We're gonna fly high, be alive. We're gonna fly high, be alive.
Thank you. Your life is making us alive. Keep on liking us on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to tell you about the sickness that has afflicted so many, mostly women between the ages of 30 and 40. And some of you experiencing this sickness might not even know that you have it or what it is. A slight touch to your skin that causes so much pain when you need a hug, and that hug translates into a severe pain. Today we'll give you the story of Jack Rabago, a former host and career woman, mother whose life spiraled downwards into the pits of pain. Here's your story about fibromyalgia.
Well, I was formally diagnosed to have fibromyalgia in August of 2010. But little did I know, as early as 2004, I already have all the symptoms of this fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a chronic disabling disease of the muscles, tendons, joints, and nerves. And the common symptom of fibromyalgia disease or illness is that you have chronic pain all over your body. In what they call the 18 tender points. You just have to touch it slightly and you will really, shout in pain. You cannot sleep. You have foggy thinking. You have fiber flares. You could hardly think straight. And you have the chronic fatigue syndrome. Like in a week, I could not get up unless I take some painkillers to numb me. I've been taking all these painkillers in the last 2 years, which has, caused me to have gastric ulcer. There are about 44 illnesses that coexist with fibromyalgia, and about 15 of that I have. I have pituitary adenoma, arachnoid cyst, bilateral vocal cord nodules, gastric ulcer, GERD, chronic gastropathy, myoma, sinusitis, rhinitis, mastocytitis, slip disc, hyperuricemia, and diabetes. But what really is so disheartening when you have this kind of illness is that you go through depression bouts. And for a person like me who's so bubbly, there was a point in my life that I don't want to go out. I just shun away from people, and I just have to hibernate for about 2 years. And the diagnosis of different ailments never stopped, one after another. I found out that fibromyalgia has something to do with a disorder in your central nervous system. I cannot get up because I don't have the energy, the stamina, and in pain, I always have headache. I'm having blurred visions. After learning that I have fibromyalgia, first I didn't tell my family. They saw all my sufferings, the pains that I've been undergoing every day. The first reaction that they have, especially my children, is that they would always tell me, "It's all in your mind, Ma. You're just under stress." Anytime I could have a stroke, I could have a seizure. And it was actually at this point that I asked personally God to take my life, because what would I be useful for if I have all these illnesses? In the last 3 years, I've been on medications. I take about 10 to 15 kinds of medications to address individually the ailments that I have. It was in August that I was so tired of taking all the medications, and I asked the Lord to give me one alternative meds. And after taking Laminine, I have a renewed sense of well-being. I have my visual acuity has sharpened. I have increased concentration and focus. The symptoms of fibro flares gone. the symptoms of all my illnesses, especially my diabetes. The last 3 months, my sugar level has been normal, and my cortisol level became normal. And for fibromyalgia sufferers, they have very low serotonin. And after taking in the last 3 months Laminine, everything went well. The most important thing, that I really am so thankful, because in the last 3 years, if there's something that I crave for in my life, it's not food, it's sleep. And thank God, because of Laminine, I can sleep well. The fibromyalgia symptoms, all of it, they're now gone, and I can live normally, just like before. After consulting all my doctors, they just took away all my medications. I'm back to life, and I thank God for that.
With us today in the studio is Jat Rabago. We'll be right back.
We're gonna fly high, be alive.
How are you, Jat? Kumusta ka na?
Mabuti naman po. Maayos na po.
Jat, you were saying, we were talking about it with Maggie and Susan earlier, and we're saying, fibromyalgia. What is fibromyalgia?
Is it true what Susan said, that there's so much pain that you cannot even be touched?
Yes.
Aside from fibromyalgia, I know that you have several illnesses or ailments. Is that part of fibromyalgia?
There are about 44 illnesses that can coexist.
Wow.
Or are associated with fibromyalgia.
You used to, you used to be very vibrant. You used to host. You used to go around, and then this fibromyalgia caused you to. In your VTR, you were saying that for 2 years she stopped working. Yes. She became reclusive. Is that true?
And how did you manage the pain? Were you constantly on painkillers?
Well, I went through depression bouts in the last 2 years, and there was a point in my life really that I had to ask the Lord to take my life, because I felt at the time, with all these illnesses, one after the other, another, there's no ending. I just told the Lord, what's the use of living if you cannot even just be of help to other people and to myself? I mean, I used to be so bubbly, so energetic, and one day I just realized that I can no longer go out and mingle with people. And at home, I would just cry to the Lord and would ask Him, Lord, if I have no more purpose, take my life. If this will just go on and on, and I would just be a burden to my children.
Don't make me cry now. Did you take conventional treatments?
Yes. What I did is just to consult all the doctors. For every symptom that I have, I would ask, what medication should I take? I was just in search of something that would bring back the Jat that I used to be, someone that's alive.
I'm sure when you were doing research, you've also researched on other cases of people.
Yes, I did. And I even watched people who have fibromyalgia.
What was the outcome of your research? Have you found anyone getting treated?
Actually, there's no cure for fibromyalgia.
Wow. So it's just managed.
You just have to manage the symptoms, because I was really looking for something that's so natural, because my body's already full of toxins. I've been taking 10 to 15 different types of medications just to address all these 22 ailments.
Wow. When you started to try Laminine, how long before you noticed some results?
Yeah, I was so really surprised, because I was on painkillers for the last 3 years. Four kinds of painkillers a day just to numb my pain. And when I took Laminine, I took the 4 capsules a day. On my first week, my headache is gone.
Wow.
My vision has been sharpened. And the most important thing, like the polyneuropathic pains, they're all gone. And if there's one thing I really crave in my life in the last 2 years, it's having a good night's sleep.
And you can sleep well now?
Oh, yes.
And you're not sensitive to touch
no more.
anymore.
My daughter can just squeeze me and hug me.
Can I try?
Oh, yes!
The one who introduced me to Laminine has been healed of so many illnesses. And I told the Lord, you heal this person, you will also use Laminine to heal.
Wow. Fantastic.
All right.
So ladies and gentlemen, come on. A big hand for her. Okay, when we return, we'll give you a doctor. Be alive.
We're gonna fly high, be alive. We're gonna fly
Joining us today on our topic of fibromyalgia is Dr. Arlene Perio and Dr. Salindong. If you're wondering who that handsome gentleman is on my left, that is Mr. Leon Katz, the president of Forever Rich Philippines Incorporated. Dr. Salindong, can you please tell us how Laminine has helped Jat Rabago on the fibromyalgia?
The story of Jat was so fascinating, right? In traditional medicine, practically we cannot do anything about it. All we give our patients are opioids, NSAIDs, and painkillers. And that's what Jat did for the last 2 years, right? First, we need to understand the mechanism of pain. Pain is an experience. No? Pain occurs in the brain, right? The theory of fibromyalgia is that it is due to a secondary hyperalgesia, or the thermostat in the brain was already set to a high. So all the chemicals, the serotonin, the bradykinin, the prostaglandins, no, when it releases when it is released, no, it sends signals to the receptors in the skin that makes it react exacerbated. No? So all the reactions are exaggerated, right? No? So what Laminine does was, again, no, set the balance in the brain. No? The release of serotonin, the release of the prostaglandin to its normal reaction. And no medicine, no, or prescription drug can do that. No? But Laminine did it for you, Chad.
My goodness.
And it's so fascinating.
There's 4 kinds of painkillers. You said that no drug can do that for her. So these painkillers were just, just touching the surface and then didn't do anything for her?
We need to combine the medication because there are different pathways for pain. So you have to have the opioids. So these are the narcotics, morphine. No, and we also give tranexamic. Then we give NSAIDs for inflammation. But if you look at it, no, there is no inflammation in fibromyalgia. Kaya whatever anti-inflammatory medication you give,
it won't work.
It won't work.
Yes,
No?
okay.
All laboratory tests in fibromyalgia are normal. Even MRI, CT scans are normal.
Oh, okay.
No? You cannot see you cannot see in the imaging X-rays, in the CT scan, the chemicals that's being released in the brain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
But Laminine, we're able to
detect.
put this back in the normal range.
Can you expound on that? Tell us about Laminine and how it affects the stem cells and all this.
First, when we say about stem cells, we are referring to the primitive, pluripotent, or original cells. These are cells that look the same. However, there is something in the body that will guide these cells to differentiate. So the original cells will become, let's say, the heart, the brain, the muscle, the bone. So there is something in the body that does that. And it has been identified as the fibroblast growth factor.
The thing is, there's a lot of controversy around stem cells right now. No? You have hospitals and other doctors saying that we should not take anything oral. Could you please tell us, doctor, for the televiewers, they can see what it's all about?
First, you and I came from a simple cell. The cell of our mother, which is the ovum, and the cell of our father, which is the sperm. These are cells. And then when they were fertilized and when they were combined, these are now the primitive cells. They all look the same. Then they start to multiply. When they started multiplying, it started to elongate. And then we now saw that certain portions of the cell become the brain, the muscle, the bones, and in the next 9 months, out we came a human being with all complex, let's say, body parts. But the idea is that all the systems of the body is combined by different organs, and then different organs, tissue, and then the cell. So we go back again to the cellular level. Now, we already have stem cells inside the body, which the body uses to build, maintain, and repair itself. And there is also the fibroblast growth factor already inside the body that does that work. However, as we get older, it seems that the that the director, which we refer as the fibroblast growth factor, seems to be more lazy. It probably could be part of the aging process. So probably we need a little stimulus to wake it up. So that's where we got the fibroblast growth factor from the 9-day-old fertilized egg, because that is the one that will stimulate the stem cells of the growing, let's say, chicken embryo. And since the egg yolk is already something that we are taking as food, and we know that every food item that we take will literally become your body. That's why you chew the food, you swallow the food, the stomach will digest it, and then extract all the vital ingredients, and the cells of the body will use these vital ingredients to build, maintain, and repair itself. That's why it's simply food. So Laminine has the ingredients coming from the 9-day-old fertilized egg, and it seems to be doing its work based on the studies that has been conducted so
Doctor,
far.
when we take Laminine, then it goes through the stomach. What's the process? Hindi ba papatayin ng acid sa stomach natin, Doc?
Kasi most of the time, mga doctors usually ask this question. Once a protein enters your body, goes to the digestion, it's simply destroyed by your body. When I saw the video by Jabrowski yata yun, no, he explains very simply why Laminine, no, were able to go to the brain. No, that's the trade secret. That they have something there that puts the fibroblast growth factor in a vehicle that practically bypass the digestion in the stomach.
Wow.
The question is correct. Now, Laminine is a protein, and when you take in protein, the acid in the stomach will destroy it. Kaya that's one also the first thing that when Laminine was introduced to me, that was the first question I also asked. It's a
That's what
protein.
my doctor asked.
Yeah.
It will be destroyed. So the body will be left out with nothing. Right?
Pero it does not.
It does not.
So exception
Because
to the
of
rule
thing-
tayo.
because of the secret they have.
Yung peptides po ba yun?
That's probably the smaller the peptides.
Oligopeptides?
Yes. They use it as a vehicle, no, to be able to absorb in the stomach without bypassing the acid digestion.
Nice. That's why it works.
That's another secret of Laminine.
Wow.
That makes it really works.
Yes.
And now we're going to give you now Mr. Leon Katz. He is the president of Forever Rich Philippines Incorporated, and they are the ones responsible for bringing Laminine into the country.
Actually, before I even knew anything about the product, I became a consumer of the product. One day, Susan comes home and said, "Take this." So I started to take it. And really didn't know anything about the product at the time. But my condition then was very bad. I was in a lot of pain. I was supposed to have a back operation. I would wake up in the morning and go back and forth to the toilet in the bathroom 10 times in an hour. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and urinate once or twice in the night. All kinds of problems, no energy. I was depressed, taking Prozac, painkillers. I felt like an 85-year-old man. I couldn't even get out of bed without pushing myself up and pulling myself out of bed, and couldn't even stand erect because of the pain in my back. So anyway, 3 days later, I opened my eyes and I thought, something's different. I feel good. And I didn't quite get it, and I didn't even put two and two together. I didn't even realize what it was. I just taken those pills in the morning and at night, which is what you told me to do. And then, after the first week, I said, no, I'm really feeling better. And I stopped taking the painkillers. And then a little after that, I stopped taking some other medication because I felt so great. Then I went on the website, did a lot of research, found out about the product. Actually went to the company, talked with some of the principals of the company, talked to some of the scientists that you were talking about that have been studying this for over 50 years. So I made a study of the product because Susan said she had an interest in bringing back something to the Philippines, giving back an opportunity, giving back something. She was very successful in the U.S., but she wanted to go back home and do something big. And part of this whole process was also attached to a livelihood program. So part of her purpose for bringing this here in the Philippines. We agreed that this is what we were going to do. The product is not a good product. It's a fantastic product. I'm a businessman for over 40 years and done very well in the U.S. But I can tell you, doing what we do here in the Philippines by sharing this product is totally different. Every day somebody tells me a great story. Oh, let me tell you about my mother, my brother, my sister, my friend. They're better, they're this or that. I just love it because of all the stories. People like the audience, some of them may be taking the product. But that's why I'm involved with the product. So.
Fantastic. Thank you. In a while, we're going to be back, and we're going to show you a surprise this season.
We're gonna fly, high, be alive.
Ako po si Lance, 20 years old. Buhay ko po dati akong, pamilya ko dati kayo may kaya. Hindi mo siguro masasabing sobrang hirap namin, pero meron kami. Ngayon, nung pagdating ko ng was year 2009, yung pamilya ko, medyo bumagsak yung kita namin, medyo naramdaman ko lahat ng hirap noong 2009. Bali ako noon, 16 years old, gano'n. Nag-aaral po ako sa Perpetual, Las Piñas. Nakapagtapos ako doon. Actually, hindi nakapagtapos eh. First year college lang yung tinapos ko kasi medyo hirap sa financial. Ang malupit na part po noon, kahit hindi po ako nakapagtapos, dahil nga sa financial na problema sa bahay, pwede pala ako umasenso. Ngayon po, nakakatulong na ako sa bahay namin, sa pamilya ko, especially sa magulang ko. At sa murang edad ko to, meron ako sariling sasakyan. Alam nyo, nakakatuwa noon dahil hindi man ako graduate, hindi man ako professional, pero lahat ng mga meron ako ngayon, kaya ko may pagmalaki sa sarili ko na kaya ko rin pala napantayan lahat ng makita ng mga professional sa labas.
Last week, you talked about your advocacies and about your mission. And I'd like to know about your visions for the youth. You know, I was so inspired by the video that I saw. And I know that you and Leon have a lot of plans for people who are looking for extra income.
Well, Tita Maggie, the story of Lance is really something that makes me very happy. Parang mission accomplished eh. I want to hear more stories like that. Dalawa po ang taong malapit ako eh, yung mga kabataan, at saka yung mga senior. The story of Lance reminds me of myself. The only thing is like I did not come from a rich family. I come from a family of 22. So, pagkatapos ko ng high school, sabi ng mama ko, hanggang high school ka na lang, hindi na pwedeng mag-college. Sabi ko sa mama ko, Mama, sayang naman yung talino ko kung hindi ako makakapag-college. And then sabi ng mama ko, mag-aasawa ka, babae ka, ang asawa mo ang dapat magsustento at magtaguyod ng pamilya. Sabi ko, Mama, paano pagka naputol ang paa ng mapapangasawa ko? Paano kami mabubuhay? Tama? So, it was really tough, Tita Maggie. Ang ko is like, ilan ang Susan Barlin sa Pilipinas na gustong makatapos ng koleyo at makapag-aral na hindi kaya dahil ang kailangan nilang gawin, tulungan yung magulang at bago yung sarili nila. Tama? So, dahil po kaya yung livelihood program ko, I'm very, very passionate about it. Dahil gusto ko talaga to go into every high school graduating students, na merong paraan. Katulad lang ng ginawa ni Lance. Sana maturuan namin ang maraming at magabayan ang maraming kabataan. Iyan ang talagang woman.
Lance is just one of the examples of a young boy succeeding in a man's world. Isang kwento ng totoong buhay na natulungan ng Forever Rich Philippines Incorporated. Susan, I have somebody for you. Ladies and gentlemen.
Be Alive would like to thank the following: